Welcome to another episode of The Edge Outdoors. Pardon the power washer in the background. We're going to get going today. It's flood recovery and planting, fall plantings, doing a little fertilizing with some clover fuel and a little bit of herbicide too. Stay tuned. Alright, welcome back. So, as I showed you, clover fuel, real cheap, reasonable, easy to get it, like Farm and Fleet. We're going to put that in the tank today, and then I'm also going to put some Arrest Max in there, which is clethodim, which is grass killer. You can put it on the broadleaf clover though, and that is exactly what we're going to do today. You're going to follow along with me. I'm going to rejuvenate the clover plots. You know, loyal viewers here, you know I've been dealing with flooding and stuff. I feel like we're drying out now, and we're getting towards the end of July. Usually I wait until that first part of August and that first rain, but something's nagging at me this year. I've got the seed, I've got the fertilizer, I've got the disc down there. You're going to follow with me today. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to get done, but we could be completely done seeding fall plots this afternoon. It's all going to depend. I want to utilize the moisture that's there, and then we have some rain chances this week. So starting a little, a week late or a week early, maybe 2 weeks early, but I don't think that's going to really hurt a thing with our fall brassicas. Also going to mix some clover in there. I'll talk about what I'm doing with that. I know you may be saying right now, whoa, it's way too late to plant clover. I'll tell you what I'm going to do there. So follow along with me today. I'm going to get this mixed up and get the mower down there, and we're just going to have a good day in the land on a Sunday, July 21st. So hang with me, and we'll be down in the land soon. A follow-up there. I just wanted you to know, I didn't say it, but I mix the clover fuel and the Arrest Max together at the same time. You can do that. Saves you time. You only got to go over your plots once then. And this Arrest Max is the real deal. I mean, it really gets rid of the grasses, cleans that clover right up, plus the mowing. And we're going to see just how much the clover has bounced back. A week ago, there was a couple spots looked pretty good, but overall it took a really hard hit. So I'm going to mow it off high today, and we're going to get it sprayed. So just wanted to touch base on that quick. I am mixing both those together in a 15-gallon tank. So all right, welcome back. We made it down into the land. I checked on the sorghum. It's sprouted good, about that tall. Can't really see it with video very well. Might check that out on our way out. The winter bulbs, we got that 2 inches of rain on Monday after I had seeded, and it seems like the water maybe washed them into little pods, but it seems like there is some decent spread yet. So I think as all that grows and fills out, we'll be in great shape there. Little nervous on that. That was the first time I used a pull behind spreader to do seed. Looking back, I'm thinking maybe I should have walked it with a hand spreader, but we'll see how it fills out. And as always, I can always, with planting that early, I can always come back in and fill in too. That's the beautiful part about the brassicas. You can always add a little bit more as long as you got some time left before that frost. So as you just saw, I come in here last Sunday and I sprayed everything with glyphosate that I want to seed into the final forage, the winter bulbs, deer radishes, all back here in the main, what we call the main food plots. It did a really good job. I just used, it was an off-brand, wasn't even Roundup, but it was just an off-brand that I had gotten my hands on, mixed that up, and it did a really good job. I don't know if it's wet enough for me to burn this off. I was kind of hoping it was, because I think that would be a pretty good deal. I'm going to try. And then we're also going to mow the clover. The clover on the west side here is not in very good shape. I think today is very, very weedy. You can see all the dead clover down in there. There's some trying to make it back. We're going to mow this off, and then I'm going to spray it with, probably first I'll come through with extra seed for clover. It's really not going to benefit us this year. It's not going to really have the time to develop, but it will be in the soil for springtime. It'll come on right away in the spring. And I'm looking down in here and I see more and more clover. It's just choked out by all these weeds. So I think a good mowing here, and it's amazing how fast this stuff can come back to shape. So I think I'm going to get started here, and I don't think this stuff's going to burn, but boy, did that weed killer really do a job. I'm quite impressed with that. Didn't really have to spend a whole lot on it either. Your general Roundup is usually quite expensive, and this stuff was a lot more cost effective. I think it was called Eliminator. That's what it was called, Eliminator. So really did a good job of really burning them weeds down. So if it won't burn, I'll probably just mow and chop it up, get a good thatch on it, and then I think I got to do a little bit of work to the disc, but we've got some rain coming this afternoon. And if that rain doesn't beat me through everything I got going here, we might even just go ahead and seed all this. So when you got a chance of a good rain, that'll just let that seed get packed in, might as well. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens here. See if I can get this stuff to burn. I'm kind of doubting it, but it's worth a shot. So well, it's got a little burn going. I put a little gas on it. I don't think it's gonna do what you would expect. So probably gonna mow and thatch this. We'll see what it does here. There's really not any wind down in here. I think if we had a wind, it might get burning hot and one bit. It was very dewy and very damp this morning, and I just still think, even with this stuff being dead, I think it's just still full of moisture. So no big deal. Had to try though. Had to try. There's still some burning in there. I don't know. We'll see. I'll let it do its thing. I'm gonna hop on the mower, get to mowing, and try and get ahead of the rain. It's always a good thing when there's some light rain coming. It's still kind of a four-letter word, but we'll need it now as we get into the fall plot time. The river's gotten really, really low. That doesn't mean we're out of the woods with that by any means. It can always change on a dime, but at least we've gotten where we can see sandbars on the river and stuff now. So that always makes me feel a little bit more comfortable as far as when it comes to the flooding. So gonna get on the mower, and I'll check back in. All right, what you see here is a lot of struggle this afternoon, to be completely honest with you. Mower kept breaking on me. It was chugging through trying to get that grass mulched up, and I just kept belts popping off, and just a total struggle bus. Didn't get it completely mowed like I thought, but we're still fighting. So I went to the very south plot, and I didn't even mow that because that wasn't very tall, but it was sprayed off really well. And I just took the disc down there, disked that up. It looks really good. We're going to go ahead and seed that today. The main, what we call the main south plot, that disked up really well. That didn't have hardly any weeds in it. As the thunder rolls behind me, I got to keep moving here. What you see here, this area right through here is where the flood water came from. The backwater over there came across right here, and the water really sat here a long time. We're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to actually rototill those two middle plots because the weeds got so bad. But I ran the disc through here a little bit. This is the clover, but this area really took a beating. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reseed the clover. Now that's not gonna do us a whole lot of good this season. There's still a nice clover patch in here. There's some clover in the west plot. I'm hoping with maybe another mowing we get all the weeds out. I'm going to go ahead and reseed both, and I'm going to mix some deer radish in there, and that'll help aerate the soil. And then that clover, putting it down now, it will actually really rejuvenate it next spring at first green up. So gonna mix that up right now. Well, actually right now I've got the fertilizer spreader hooked up to the Ranger. I'm gonna put 13, 13, 13 on the areas, well, the plot below me, the main south plot. I'm gonna put, I gotta see what I had written down. Always go at this with a game plan as well. So I've got a map, don't mind the Ranger running here. I've actually got a map of what I'm gonna do with each plot. So that main plot south, we're just gonna put in a mix of deer radish and clover. So I'm gonna mix up that clover plus, put in some biologic deer radish, and lay that down. We're gonna get that done today. And then the south plot, I'm gonna do in Mossy Oak Biologics new endurance radish. Well, it was new last year. I didn't get a real good shot at seeing what it'll do on our ground because the deer just mowed it to the ground on the green tops. So as the thunder keeps rolling, I'll update you before we leave here today. But that's what I'm up to. It's been a struggle, but it's a labor of love. Stay tuned, we'll wrap this up. All right, what you're looking at there is the 5 acres that we went into winter bulbs. And I found out something this afternoon as the thunder rolls here. My spreader, the gear broke on it, and I could never tell when I was spreading that seed. So as you look out here, I've got a blotch here and a blotch there, and it was where the seed was just falling out of the bottom of the spreader. Now that may sound like a disaster, but I had went so slow about it and had done such tight radiuses, I still think we got a pretty good spread. But I went back in here with 2 more bags of winter bulbs and deer radish mixed up. Just did a walk in the rain, spreading it. I mean, what better way to know that it's going to germinate other than to do it right in the pounding rain. The bag's waterproof. Spread on there real nice. Got that done. Got the endurance radishes done on the south plot in the rain. And I got the clover and a radish mix done on the main south plot and also through the clover plots. Everything has fought me today. Just as I finished up this here, my bag spreader, the gear finally went out in that. That thing don't owe me a thing. That thing has spread so much seed, it's time for a new one. So no worries there, but I tell you what, it's a little after 4, maybe 4:30. I'm soaked, I'm out of here. So for the Edge Outdoors, I'm Eric Johnston. I'm gonna go get dry, and until next time, get outdoors.